Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about top 10 actually. Let's make it top 10 insane books. Now these books are insane because of the subject matter, because of the storyline, because of the characters, because of the amount of life they gave me, because of the thought foreplay they added and the thought quotient they added to my life. That's why I read. I read to get more ideas. I read to add to my brain's capacity to understand and withstand this world. I don't do this because the world is a big bad place. I don't think so at all. I just do this because I like to do it. I read because I like to read. I like fiction, and mostly I'm going to be talking about fiction books today. Bear in mind, these books I have read. I'm not saying these are the most insane books I've written. Let's begin. In no particular order. I'm just going to talk about them as they come to my mind. Number one book in this list should be The Stand by Stephen King. This is not Stephen King's best book. It's not even his among the top 5 books I've read by him. Maybe it's number 5 actually. But the reason I want to bring Stand into this list is because A, it's very long. B, the number of characters in this book is amazing. It's intense, and they sometimes make you forget your real life, and you're so into the book that you think the book is the actual world as you know it. In the book, there is a viral plague which is broken out into the world, and everyone is wheezing and coughing and dying from it. The book was written in the 70s, but it's still very relevant. It has intense imagery. It has intense language, and the characters, they have no limits as to what they'll do next. Stephen King is a master. He's my favorite author, and The Stand is a testament to his craft. Many people say that The Stand is his best book. I don't think it's best book, but it's his most insane book for sure. Wow. All right. Number 2, very insane book. What's another insane book that is coming to mind? The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. This book is narrated by a dog, and he's in love with his master. His master is a race car driver. He loves his master. He doesn't like people who get close to him, and he follows his master's life story and his own story. And it's just a heartbreakingly amazing book. I say it's insane because of the authorship and how he's actually done this in the book. You have to read it. It will make you cry. It will make you appreciate life. It will make you appreciate dogs. I've never had a dog, but man, I want a dog like that guy. Number 3, insane book. So there's only one author I think in this list that's gonna make it twice, and that author, my friend, is a Russian American named Ayn Rand. I have never read a woman author who is as imposing and commanding and amazing and enlightening and beyond the world and otherworldly and gut-wrenching and flabbergasting and thought-provoking and life-changing, and oh my god, that's Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead is the number 3 most insane books I have read. In this book, there are 4 central characters. Through those 4 central characters, I think you'll be able to escape through life, and you'll be able to scope through life and understand every single kind of human being that exists in this world. The Fountainhead is at times the best book I've ever read. So aside from being an insane book because of its gigantic scope, I think The Fountainhead is also a very fantastic book. It was written in 1942, I think, and till today it's very relevant. The language is amazing. It will completely change your world. If you're like 20, what the fuck are you doing with your time? You need to go and read The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand. She's that damn good, and take my word for it, this book is epic. I hate that word. It's a word used by many people. I don't like it. But this book is an actual epic. Now, since I'm talking about Ayn Rand, let me talk to another insane book, probably more insane book written by her. That's Atlas Shrugged, and that's my number 4. Atlas Shrugged is an insaner version of The Fountainhead. Atlas Shrugged was the first book I read by Ayn Rand. It's one of the biggest books I've ever read. I think the book has a 100-page speech by one of its central characters. The book is about John Galt. John Galt is a man who wants to burn the world, who wants to burn everything. and oh my god. The Fountainhead is more to do with architects, and this book is about another line of professionals, and that is railway track designers slash architects slash builders. More to do with railway, and the railway is the machinery of life, if you get the drift. And Atlas Shrugged is absolutely incredible, amazing. It saddens me that many people of my generation and the future generation is not going to read something which is so fantastic as Atlas Shrugged. But man, oh man, it's an insanely amazing book, and you must read it. Number 5. Now, I like books that challenge your brain process and thought. Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead completely changed my way of looking at the world. They completely made me shamelessly individualistic, and I've never looked back. I think these two books told me that, okay, man, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be an individual. It's okay not to be cowed down by others. It's okay to be happy for yourself, and then make the world happy if you need to do that. But it's most important for an individual to have an individualistic identity. And man, I'm getting so intense. I think it's dangerous to talk about these books while driving, but I'm also getting a kick out of it. Number 5 on this list is a book called The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. What do I say, man? The Picture of Dorian Gray is something I read as late as when I was like just 2-3 years back, when I was 31 years of age, and it is completely transformative. Also, it is the smallest book probably in this series of 10 insane books. It's insane because of the character of Lord Henry. I think he will change your understanding of vice and virtue in this world. I asked one of my best friends, who's a very knowledgeable guy, to read The Picture of Dorian Gray, and he didn't like it because he said, oh my god, dude, I can't get over how gay it is, because in the book one character kind of falls in love with another man. Now guys, I never even looked at it like that. I purely looked at it from someone who can see beauty in the world. And if you want to see real beauty in the world and not be limited by oh my god, this is so gay, oh my god, this is so homo, I think you should read The Picture of Dorian Gray. I don't think it is anything to do with just homosexuality. That is a very small-minded limitation and definition to give to this book. And even it is about homosexuality, man, who gives a fuck? It's 2019, for God's sake. The Picture of Dorian Gray is absolutely incredible. It's a gift, and I hate to say it, it's probably the best book out of all these insane books. It's even better. No, I'm struggling right now. This is the kind of thing I'm scared to do, because it's so challenging to pick out favorites, and that's why I like doing it. I think it's very important to be definitive, but not define things and then limit things to misconstrue them for your own personal benefit, or laziness, or procrastination. So I've named 5 books so far. Let me take a breather. I have to name 5 more books, guys. What else is an insane book? What else? I don't want to name another Stephen King book, because The Stand is testament. Stephen King also has some other amazing insane books like Misery and Green Mile and Finders Keepers, and more books by him like the Mercedes guy, Mr. Mercedes, and those are some really good books. But what else do I have? I hope none of you are actually forwarding this video saying, oh my god, let's get to the next book, let's get to the next book. Shut up and don't do that, okay? I'm gonna be very hurt if you do that. Watch the entire video, man. How difficult is it? If you can't sit through this video, you probably won't sit through any of these books. So learn to have more patience in life. I'm sorry for yelling, but how do I get across the screen, man? Number 6 most insane book is by one of my favorite authors. Okay, this is not my favorite book by the author, but Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, a Russian author, is, my god, what do I say? If you really want to forget the real world and get into another person's world, read Crime and Punishment. If you really want to feel the agony which you probably have never felt in your entire life while reading a book, read Crime and Punishment. Of all the books I have named so far, I think Crime and Punishment is the most agonizing, the most haunting, and the most, how do I say? Basically, it just takes you out of your life and it puts you in the Matrix. And the Matrix is the life of this one man. I think his name is Raskolnikov. I can't forget, even though I've read the book just once, 5 years back. Crime and Punishment is where it's at, man. This should be your essential reading. This should be something you should read to understand what agony can feel like. And it's very demonstrative of, as the name suggests, crime and punishment. Someone can, does a crime and then they are apprehensive about the punishment, and it eats them up, and while it eats them up, it'll eat you up. I know, it's not very pleasing, or it's not very inspiring what I'm saying, but we are talking about insane books right now, and Crime and Punishment is an insane book. It's an insane adventure to embark on. It'll take you maybe 7 days. If you are a regular reader, it'll maybe take you 7 days. It took me about 7 days or 5 days to finish this book, and you won't stop reading until you find out the end of the book. This is, like I said, this is the third best book, because Dostoevsky is the kind of author, if you read one book by him and you think it's amazing, then you read another book by him, and then you think that is even more amazing. Then you read a third book by him, and then you think that is the best out of all of them. That's what happened to me. I read Crime and Punishment, and I thought, yeah, he cannot do another book this good. And he did it. And that book, my friend, is The Brothers Karamazov. And I thought, okay, this is it, man. This his third book, The Idiot, cannot be better than the first two. And it was. The Idiot is his best book. So that's Fyodor Dostoevsky for you. Maybe if I read his book again, maybe I'll think Crime and Punishment is the best of all three. It is definitely the most insane of all three. All three are insane books and must-reads. But start with Crime and Punishment. Okay? All right, Dave. So next we have number 7. I want to name a book by Franz Kafka. I hate the guy. I hate him because he writes such insane books. So I'm gonna probably name 2 books by Franz Kafka. It's gonna be a tie for insane books. The first of the 2 books is The Castle by Franz Kafka. And no, actually, you know what? Don't scratch that. Don't read The Castle. I'm just gonna name one book because I want to, maintain a kind of a steady flow. So read Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I finished this in 2 days. Metamorphosis is about a man who wakes up one morning and he has become a bug, a giant bug, a giant mosquito. He's not dreaming, it's real life. His parents are in the next room, his sister is around, he has to go to work, he's late for work, and he's become a giant bug. Number 8. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk more about literature and classic literature because it's my favorite genre, and I think there's some insane books written in that category. If you have the patience, actually nobody has the patience to read any of these books, especially the long ones, but if you have the patience to give 1 month to a book, read a book named War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. Maybe this is among the top 5 biggest books I've read, and it'll take you probably a month to finish. It took me a month and a half actually when I read it, and I think through so many characters I forgot about my own life and what that was like. Okay guys, I want to quickly talk about 3 of the remaining books. Number 8 would be Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. The book is about a convict who's on the run, who lands up in Mumbai, one of the world's biggest cities, one of the biggest cities of India. And he's on the run and he's very scared for his life, and he's just shocked by what's happening around him. He's shocked by Bombay. He's overwhelmed by how the scenario is, how everything is, and I think it's one of the best books I've ever read. it could feature in my top 10 books of all time, Shantaram. Forget about being insane. It's just, I mean, it's an insane book. It's a real treasure. And I want to read it every day of my life. It's one of those books because the writing is so good and the storylines are so terrific. What he speaks about love and heroin and, thieves and sinners and saints and Islam and Russia and Hinduism and Mumbai in India. I mean, through the eyes of an Australian guy, I saw India in a light I've never seen it before. And maybe it was the first time in my life I felt patriotic. So that's insane. And a foreigner made me feel patriotic through Shantaram. But that's just one of the 100 things about the book. You can't go wrong with this insane book, Shantaram. Number 9, I would like to talk about a science fiction novel written in 1970s by a man named Anthony Burgess, I think. The name of the book is A Clockwork Orange. It's about not a little boy, but a teenager in England who doesn't stop at anything. He is a bully. He is a great villain who's actually a hero in the book. And the way he disgraces everyone around him, and the way he talks down to people, and the way he thinks he is the best thing to happen to Earth is just something you have to read, because A Clockwork Orange will leave you absolutely gutted and flabbergasted. I've never read a book like it. And it's also in a film. If you want to watch the film, you can watch A Clockwork Orange. I don't know, I think the film is as good as the book and the book is as good as the film. Both are terrific and you should watch or read. Number 10, my last insane book would have to be the smallest book. Actually, this is even smaller than the book I spoke about, Picture of Dorian Gray, and this book is called Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. It's about a day or 2 or 3 in the life of an old man who's lost at the sea. The old man is fighting a fish, and a big fish, and it's actually a whale he's fighting, and what actually he goes through and the insanity that ensues. I mean, you will feel absolutely, I don't know what to say. Ernest Hemingway wrote with such a furor that you feel as though this emptiness which is shouting at you as you read the book. His verses, his sentences are so on point, yet disconnected. His writing has such tenacity. I mean, I can never imagine anybody else writing that way. And a lot of people copy his style and do well, but Ernest Hemingway is the true original. I'm going to have one more bonus for you, because Old Man and the Sea is not exactly an insane book. So that's why I feel I should give you guys a bonus. My bonus is going to be an insane book called A Million Little Pieces by James Frey. The book is about a man who wakes up on an airplane with no teeth. And he's bleeding profusely from his teeth and he doesn't know where he is. He has a massive hangover and he's been drugged and he's on an airplane and he's wondering what he's doing in that situation. That's A Million Little Pieces. The entire book is written without any attention to grammar whatsoever, in smalls. You should read A Million Little Pieces, guys. This was my top 10 plus bonus insane books to read. I'm sorry for the landscape and the portrait orientation, but now I'm at work, so I'm speaking in a drone. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you like this insane book quest.